And we're live. What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday midday. I'm here once again with Frank, senior technical product manager, helping here at OSSA. Been an absolute blast working alongside him. He's had some amazing insights. I'm here, co-host Cole Gonzales, CEO of OSSA.AI. Today, we're going to be diving a little bit into the full stack engineer role that we're currently going through the process of. I know there's a lot of updates wanted there. We're also going to chat about the new social media manager role. And also on top of that, we're going to talk about the new video editor role. So we're growing pretty quickly. We're looking to bring on talented individuals that want to continue this vision. We want to update you guys on kind of where the company's at, hopefully give you guys some value. And on top of that, at the end here, kind of maybe towards the middle, want to dive into this new feature. I know I just sent out that email to the community and also in the school community as well. So definitely want to showcase the new advanced settings AI editing feature. But with that being said, I got Frank here today. So Frank, maybe just a quick introduction for anyone who doesn't know who you are. And yeah, we'll just hop right into it.
Yeah, so I'm a senior technical product manager. It's a mouthful, but basically it's a developer turned product manager. So I'm working with the folks at OSSA. We're like rocking and rolling. We need a lot of good development help, right? If you are the right person, please reach out to us. We're very excited to be working with people. And so we're transitioning over to, again, like a very agile methodology. We want to, get as many folks as possible. We have so much stuff that we're excited to show you guys today. And we're just going to continue to drop more value.
Yep, 100%. And for anyone joining, I can see the comment section, but it doesn't let me comment back. So welcome, everybody. Welcome in. And yeah, just kind of wanted to give everyone an update on where we're at, kind of where we're headed, some of these new positions that have just opened up at OSSA.AI, kind of what it looks like for us and where we see this going. A little bit of backstory on OSSA for anyone who doesn't know. So we actually were founded last year back in July, but we were working on that. We were working on the product even before that. Brennan and I, the original co-founders, we started back on this in late 2022. And a lot of people don't know this, but we actually had an MVP in Q3 of 2023. So that was back in, I believe, in August, maybe September. And, we had an opportunity to actually launch the product in 2023. But, our vision has always been that the product needed to be at a state where we were really confident that we are really able to deliver value. And a quick story, because I think this is really important, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but back when we ran the beta, how we originally ran this beta was that we promised ourselves we wouldn't release the product unless we had proven the use case, which we wanted, which was that an individual with no experience could come to the platform, could create a short form video, and then be able to actually grow a platform with zero experience. So what did we actually do in the beta? Well, what we did was we grabbed 20 random people from the Discord. Originally, we were on Discord. Now we're in school. If you want to get to the school, then you can go ahead and go to our platform and then go to your tools page. And then there's a link to join. If you're not in there, please join. Lots of valuable resources. I have hundreds of hours of resources I give away for free there. Regardless of that, we started this beta, right? And there's all these people in there from ages, 14 to 25 to 30. 90% of them had no experience. And what we did was gave them free access to the platform. And at that point, it was really bad. The product would break sometimes. It would air out. It was really bad. It was stressful. And we're like, we're never going to be able to get this to market. But eventually through that process, what we did is I kind of worked with those people, but we had certain people. For example, there's this individual, Joshua. You could find him. I'll have to share the resources there. 20 years old, never created content, big fan of anime. He wanted to tell a story about anime. He ended up creating an account on YouTube and grew it to 1,000 subscribers in about 8 weeks. And that was the thing where it was like, whoa, like we've really done this thing where someone with no experience could come to the platform and tell their story, build something and share that. And the reason I share it with you guys is because that is the type of team that's behind this product. We ran a 3-4 month beta and we worked directly with those individuals to help them, realize their goal of creating content. And I think that really encapsulates kind of where we are today, which is that, I was just on with Frank a moment earlier on an interview, and we got some feedback from a developer, and that's a potential, candidate to work here at OSSA. And he gave us really good feedback on landing on the landing page and what we can improve. And we've always really believed that it takes, there is a possibility that we could build something that allows someone with zero experience to create that video, post to social media, and get the views and get the attention and have people know their story. And the conversation today that Frank and I had is a great example of how we operate, which is that there's always something to learn. And if it's hard for one person, it might be hard for other people. And we're trying to lower that barrier to entry, whether that's from someone hitting the landing page and being confused, or them getting to put a script in and not knowing what to put in there. But my background is in social media. And just a side note here, the product originally got started by Brendan and I going to a Miro board and listing out about 200 problems that a user goes through or an individual goes through when creating a piece of content. And the product that we're building is aiming to solve all those problems. So I have a super in-depth, experience with creating content, and it's our goal to help people tell their story. And we know there's a lot of steps to go through, but we're really trying to, really simplify that process. So, fast forward to today, we're sitting around 40,000 users. We still have a fairly small team of really talented individuals. What's really interesting is I've really taken a step back with Frank as well. And we've said, what do we really need right now to take us to the next level? And it's talent. It's talented individuals like the people, listening to this live stream right now, that, want to have an impact on social media, because we truly believe we are shifting the landscape of social media and what it means to create content. And we know there's people out there that, they've maybe worked at some other places and they've felt like they don't really have a say in where things go. And it's like, we want to bring talented individuals in that, take ownership in their work and really want to have an impact on the industry as a whole. So, obviously maybe Frank can dive a little bit more into, what the full stack engineer role is looking like, maybe some updates on kind of where we are. And then I can tell you guys a little bit about, the video editor role and what that's going to look like, because you'd be working with me, and also the social media manager role. And then after that, we'll dive into this new feature that I'm excited to show you guys. So maybe Frank, you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the process has been amazing. We've met with some awesome people, all kinds of levels of experience as well, which was it was something that wasn't exactly expected. I thought it would be a very specific kind of person that would be interested. But as we're going through the process, we're kind of forming a little bit better understanding of what we need, right? Because we wanted to talk to everybody, right? We're big believers in the community, and part of what we do is to make sure that you have a good experience, right? We want to make sure that you can talk to us, right? We want to be accessible. The role is open, but again, in the future, there might be other roles, right? So we want to make sure it's a good experience. We ask a bunch of questions to the people, but one thing for sure that we're again seeing as a developer, I remember it's hard to communicate sometimes, how the stuff that you work on, right? We had a couple of individuals that did amazing work, but it was kind of hidden in the resume, right? So it's the one thing for sure is make sure that you have things accessible, right? Things that are available to, for a recruiter or someone like me to click on, so we can have a conversation about it, right? It's if you built a cool app that does a specific thing, show me, right? Show me not just with a GitHub page, but also, something hopefully that's deployed, because it shows me that you can go from, an idea to creating the code to actually deploying it, right? And there's tons of free services, things like Vercel or Netlify come to mind as free alternatives. So you can just push your code. You can make it available for us to check out. And like I said, it's really important to put your best foot forward. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time on their resume, but the resume doesn't tell the full story, right? It's we want to know kind of what you're interested in, how you see your role, and also make sure you do research, right? We want to make sure that when we're having a conversation with you, what OSSA is all about, right? Even if you have a superficial knowledge, it helps us know that okay, this person actually interested in the role, versus shooting a bunch of resumes out. I know that kind of stuff happens, but at least prepare as much as possible to be ready to talk about how you see yourself in the role, what you can contribute, and highlight things that go towards that, right? It makes all the difference, because sitting here having a conversation of a resume that I could read is not as interesting, right? We want to make sure like we're engaging with you, right? You get an idea of what we're doing. We have an idea of like what you're doing, and like I said, we're getting through a lot of folks, and now we're getting to like the round two, which is for us like more technical role. It'll be like coding exercises, that sort of thing. Again, it's what we're looking for specifically is React roles. So we want to make sure that you have like at least really good knowledge of like JavaScript, like Next.js, all the things that are kind of like available. It's super important because we want to get to the point where you can hit the ground running, right? You might have experience in something else, that's great. But it might not be a fit for us right now. Like we really need like heavy, really good JavaScript people, right? So it's going great. We're getting great feedback, from the developers. We respect everyone's time, make sure everyone's like, ready to go for the interview.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been awesome. And like I said, please, again, we're please be patient. A lot of folks applied, and we want to make sure we speak to everyone. So.
No, it's awesome. And, just to touch on that a little bit, and then I'll dive into kind of the video editor role, social media role, and some really good tips there from Frank as well. From my perspective, it's one of the most important things for me is taking care of the team and ensuring that when we bring someone on, it's a good culture fit, because the type of environment we have here is a bunch of absolute killers who just want to build something that no one believes can ever be built. We truly want to deliver a product that serves an end user that is incredible experience. I mean, right here in the chat, Kevin just dropped that he's got 1,000 subscribers in 26 days. And I'm gonna have to hit you up and ask you about that for sure after this live stream. But that's incredible. That's exactly, that's the kind of stuff that keeps us going, is real results. And the thing that I can confidently say as a content creator and as a founder of the company is that there's no other product in the world that has users like that are achieving those results, and plain and simple, with AI video generation. And that just speaks to what we're trying to do, is that as a result of Kevin using the platform, whatever type of content he's making, he's able to tell his story. He's able to reach, I would assume, hundreds of thousands of people, because to get to 1,000 subscribers, you probably have to get a couple 100,000 views. So it's like, that is exactly why we're doing this thing.
Yeah,
and that's incredible.
And the way I see it as well, it's like it gives your mind like a bicycle, right? It gives you a new tool, because previously when you're doing stuff on social media, guess what? You have to either be very funny, you have to have a really good camera, right? You have to have something it's pretty intimidating. Like most people can't get to that point where they're creating the content. Whereas with OSSA, if you have a really good idea for a script, you can create a really good engaging video, right? Like that's not been possible before. And again, like also like you have to know how to edit, right? Like you have to be funny, you have to do it on command, and you have to know how to edit video. Those are very high hurdles versus really come up with a good script, put it into the software, and get like an awesome video out of it. It could be anything as well. Like we're seeing a huge breadth of the types of videos people are creating. Like people are creating videos about cats. People are creating videos about history, right? Awesome. People are creating anime like videos, right? That's the thing. It's like we welcome all types of content, and it's okay if you have a really weird niche that you're into, right? Like there might be other people that are interested in it. So yeah, we encourage everyone to sign up, check it out. We have like a lot of demos, we have a lot of examples, we have a showcase page to show you all the different types of stuff that we do.
Yep, no, it's incredible. And that's a great time to kind of pivot into the two new roles we're looking at. I want to share some stuff with anyone who's looking for a video editor role, anyone who's looking for a social media manager role, because my background is in social media. I have around 7 million followers, 4 billion plus short form views. I've been doing it for over half a decade. So if there's anyone in that position that's looking to land a position there, I'll kind of give you some feedback on kind of what I've been seeing. I've kind of just been gathering everyone, putting them into the CRM. I'm going to start really looking through over this next week or so. So just please give us some time. Once again, we got a lot of applications for that. So super exciting. And then at the end here, or towards, maybe the last half here, I want to dive into the platform, show you guys. And then I also want to give you guys some free value and give you some resources. Even if you don't use the OSSA.AI platform, our vision is to help people become content creators and Really want to deliver on that for you guys. So first things first, in terms of the video editing role, one thing that I found really interesting, and granted, this might just be as a result of the job post, but we actually got a lot of applications of people that were a little more broad in terms of the skill sets, right? It's like creating cinematography or creating, long films. But for someone like us, and what I've noticed with a lot of the tech companies is they're really looking for someone that kind of has that more Mr. Beast kind of editing style, the faster pace, the really unique kind of more, I guess, trendy style of editing. And I'm not saying that's the type of content we're looking for, but when I'm looking for skill sets, like the thing that I'm looking for is a really creative person that's really up to date with the trends. And essentially what I'm saying is that as I kind of look through some of these portfolios, I think it would be really valuable if you're capable of that type of thing to include something like that, because when you're looking at something that is a little more trendy, right? Like in the AI space, in a lot of these companies, a lot of it is content marketing. And while I could see some incredible skills that were showcased through a lot of these resumes, it was really difficult for me to find people that had easily accessible, like example videos of, people just sitting there with, words on the screen, or, specific videos that I could see tying to our brand, right? Because I'm a content creator. I'm looking for someone who's really creative and is up to date with the current styles of editing, right? So that's just a little thing for me. I think, if I saw more of that and I saw, wow, this person's really up to date with like what's working right now, because obviously that takes some expertise and looking into YouTube. But I think that is something that has caught my eyes when I see someone who's like, wow, that guy is like with it, like that's working right now. That's the type of style that's in. As opposed to maybe more generalized, like here's my portfolio of, some trailers I made and things like that, because it doesn't really serve the use case of what we're looking for, which is like content for social media, YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, right? So I would say that's just a small piece of feedback that I'm really looking for. Another thing would be for the video editor side. One thing that I've really struggled with in past video editors is the quality control part. And I think something that would really help video editors is really within, if I was a video editor, I would have some sort of intro video in there, something to click into that talks about you and your process of how you basically save time of whoever you're working with, right? Because that's what it comes down to, is like every time I have to talk with my editor and then make changes due to quality control, it takes away time from, me or any other person, working on other parts of the business. So it's like attention to detail is really big for me, because that's one of the reasons why we're kind of looking for a new editor to bring in-house, because the agency we're currently working with, we've had some problems and it happens. They're doing a great job. But I think the quality control aspect is something that I've seen that a lot of people struggle with, a lot of editors, and having someone who's really autonomous in that role and has attention to detail, super important for me personally. Going into the social media manager aspect, the way that I look at it is, I'm definitely, from my perspective and what I've seen with other content creators, is they look for someone who pays attention to the data. And I think it's one thing to kind of manage, right, and just kind of post for people. But if you have that marketing experience and you have the experience to look into data and give real insights and then give feedback to, whether it be me creating content or some other individual to business creating content, you can give them information to change their content strategy. I think that's super valuable. And that's something we're really looking for. Because it is a skill set to know how to operate on these platforms. But for someone like us, we're really looking for someone who I can basically film content and then we can have conversations about, hey, this did well, we should do this because of X, Y, and Z thing. I think that relationship is super valuable for me. And I've seen some incredible social media managers that have applied to the role. So that's super exciting for me. I don't really have any feedback on the social media manager side, because I've seen a lot of great resumes. But like I said, on the video editor side, I think that a lot, and maybe this is just due to the nature of how it kind of is on LinkedIn. And obviously, I'm a little bit particular because I've been in content for so long, but I've definitely noticed that a lot of people don't have the really up-to-date kind of editing style that we're looking for, and a lot of businesses are looking for. And I think a lot of the people here and that have applied are probably more than capable of delivering on that style. But it's just a matter of, from what I've seen, like that's what companies are looking for. They're looking for someone who's really up to date with the trends of like, what are people engaging with, right? So that would be, you know, kind of some feedback on those two roles. And yeah, I would say that's really it. And then Frank, if you have anything you want to add before we kind of, whether it's on that or something else real quick before we hop into kind of this new feature.
Yeah, no, I think it's you know, Cole hit it on the head. It's like make sure that we can see your stuff, right? If you are a video editor, show us your stuff. If you are a developer, show us your stuff. Like we need to have like links to click on, even if it's like a Google Drive or anything. It doesn't even matter. Just something that we can like check out. Super important. You know, again, that's the kind of thing that makes you stand out. Like if we have something that we can look at and have a conversation about, that supersedes anything else you have on your resume, because that's like actual experience. You know, it's hard. We can ask you questions about how you built it, right? So there's just make sure that it's like available for us to see.
Yeah, super well said. But a lot of really brilliant video editors. It's super hard. It's super hard to choose for sure. I mean, I have so many insane applications to go through, and same thing with the social media managers. Man, is there a lot of incredible people. So it's gonna be really difficult, but we'll eventually find one for sure. Now, kind of pivoting here, I told you guys I would jump into the platform. Before I do, in case, you know, people are pressed for time, because I know it is, and I want to make sure you guys get a lot of value out of this. If you guys go ahead and after you sign up for the platform, if you go here to tools, you can click into our school community. And this is an absolutely free community. It's an early access. I'll invite you in. Once you join up, I highly recommend you come here, go to Classroom, and you go to Short Form Mastery. It's an entire course for completely free. I spent over 300 hours on this that I created to basically go from zero experience all the way to hero for short form content. So you can click in here after you join, just introduce yourself, and then hop in here, go to Classroom Short Form Mastery, and I have an entire course with written resources. If you click in, there's entire written resources on how to do everything from literally picking a username to generating a profile picture to setting up your accounts to make sure you don't get shadow banned, to how to actually write really good scripts. Like everything is included in here. And I know especially, you know, people on LinkedIn, it's the type of crowd that, you know, wants to learn and wants those resources. So that's why I share that with you guys. So highly recommend once you guys hit the platform, if there's one thing you do, just go ahead and come and join the school community. It's completely free. And there's a lot of great people in there. So that's one thing I kind of want to talk about. Now, diving into this new feature, as a lot of you guys know, we just released an incredible new feature. And what that is, it's the AI editing feature, and it's under the advanced settings here. And, you know, the best way that I could explain this to anyone who's ever wanted to create content is that, oh, you can't see the school. That's unfortunate. Well, basically click into school, and then you'll be able to, after you click into that, let me show you real quick. Thanks so much. That is Anthony. Let me present one more time and show you guys where that's at. One moment. Here we go. Cool. So once you click in here, you're going to be able to go straight to the school community, come here to the classroom, and then click in right here. And then here are all those free, the free courses, the free modules, and they have written resources right here. You can click into it. Thank you so much, Anthony, for letting me know about that. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and share again, and then I want to dive into this new feature. Alrighty. Boom. All right. So as you guys know, this is your create page. This is where all the magic happens. This is where you create the videos. And the best, and I'm going to go through everything in case you're brand new and you've never seen the platform before, but the best way I can explain what we've just done, just to put in perspective, is it's almost, it is comparable to CapCut. And I know everyone knows CapCut. And the best thing that Frank said just a moment ago is it's like a bicycle. It's essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to take your creative ideas and allow you to realize those into short form stories so that you can tell your story, right? We just had Kevin in here who said he's gotten over 1,000 subscribers in 26 days using this exact process. So I'm going to walk you guys through it. But essentially what we've done is we've released the first ever AI editing feature that basically allows you to realize your idea almost like you were in CapCut, but not have to edit the video at all. And I'll explain that in a moment. Before I do, let's just go through the quick process. And then Frank, if you could just verify that you can hear this.
Making influence accessible to everyone.
Cool. All right. So here, just to run this through real quick. This is, like I said, the create page where all the magic happens. So when you log in, come to this page and then check out for the voices. These are all 11 Labs voices. So we're actually, they were nice enough to put us on their startup program. So they've been really helpful to us and we're working with them. So shout out to 11 Labs. But these are all 11 Labs voices. You can click in, you can play it. You can kind of get an idea of what this voice is. Super important for your brand, right? Because if you have, a beauty brand, would you want like a deep male voice that's kind of speaking to your audience? Probably not. You probably want like a female voice, right? But just, speaking for, let's go for the deep voice, something that's kind of we're going to talk about, let's say we're going to talk about an OpenAI story. Let's do that. So maybe we want a deep voice to kind of narrate over this OpenAI story. And I'll talk about that in a second. So we have Bruce for the style, right? If it's going to be about OpenAI, let's grab something that's, futuristic sci-fi, right? Kind of more futuristic AI-like. Now for the subtitle font, you can scroll through, you can actually turn them off. But for the sake of this, let's go through and let's grab, let's see, which one do I want to do? Let's do Astrospace, kind of more futuristic, kind of more exciting. Cool. So here you can save your default video settings. Now, if you're kind of, pressed for time, you want to do something more simple, you actually don't have to open up your advanced video settings. You can just leave them off and then you can paste your script in here or write it and then create your video, right? But if you do want to use this new feature, which I highly recommend you do, all you have to do is open this up and then go through your advanced settings. Now, before we even go through the advanced settings, I really just want to talk about the script. And this is really the distinguishing factor between us and any other platform that exists in the world right now. Now, if your background is not in content creation, you might be like, what is even a script? A script is simply just the words that are read aloud throughout the video, right? Like if this whole live stream was scripted, then you could say that what I'm saying right now is part of the script, right? Because I'm talking, that's what's in this live video, right? Same thing for short form content. A script are simply just the words that are spoken in a video, right? When you see someone, sitting on your screen as you scroll on TikTok, and they have a quick little video, they're speaking, right, the script, whatever those words are. Now, what we do is we take your unique script, whatever is in your head, whatever you can imagine, and you put that into the script input area right here, and we turn that into an entire short form video. And what's really unique about it is that nothing is pulled from a database. There's no stock footage, right? Everything is uniquely generated based off of your exact script. Now, I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a moment, but instead of me writing out the script by myself right now, we recently added this tool, and I want to take you guys through how simple it is. So what we're going to do here is, this is a GPT I created, and I'm sure all of you guys know ChatGPT. They probably are the biggest AI company in the world right now. I created this GPT where I took all my knowledge, and this is completely free, all my knowledge, and put it into this. And I want to take you guys through a step-by-step process. And by the way, this will work even if you're not using OSSA.AI. Like, this will help you with your personal brand. This will help you with your business. So if you have like a content creator, someone who does UGC for your brand, send them here and tell them to use this, because they could use this to script for their actual short form videos for your brand. So even if you're not using OSSA.AI, highly recommend doing this. Now, kind of going through this, there's around 7 steps. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab, we're going to tell the GPT who we are. So in this instance, we're just going to say we're a content creator, right? Maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're a marketer, right? Now it's going to ask, what's the script about? Now, what can you really put here?
Cool. You need to switch tabs. We're still on the OSSA page.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I think it keeps, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is. Sorry about that. So as you can see, the first step, it asks you who you are, right? I said, I'm a content creator. The second step, it asks, what's the script about? In this instance, right, we could either grab some context from maybe something that you're working on in your business. Maybe you can grab an article. In this instance, I'm going to simply just look up OpenAI breaking news, and I'll show you how simple this is. So let's grab this one here. So current and former OpenAI employees warn of AI serious risk and lack of oversight. So what I'm literally going to do is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to copy and paste the whole article. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to paste it in, right? Giving context to what's the script going to be about. And I'll bring this full circle. Who's the target audience? So for anyone who doesn't know and they're newer to content creation, you're like, what is a target audience? What does that mean? Target audience is simply just, who are you trying to speak to? It's almost like the ICP in business, right? Your ideal customer profile. And in content creation world, it's who do I want to be sitting on the edge of their bed, holding their phone and looking at this video as they scroll and eat their, eat their Cheerios, right? Like, who am I trying to get at? Who am I trying to get to watch this thing, right? So let's see. It gives us some ideas. So let's say tech enthusiasts concerned about AI ethics. Maybe, maybe that's who we want to speak to in this example. So we're going to grab that. Desired tone, right? Why does the tone matter? Well, once again, going back to branding, right? When you create a script, right? If you have a more, professional business, you probably don't want to do something sarcastic, right? Or maybe that's part of your brand. Maybe you're kind of funny, right? And you're kind of more entertainment based. Maybe you want to do something sarcastic. So I'm just going to say sarcastic, for this specific instance, just to kind of show you guys. Now, once again, another thing here, what is a hook, right? What is a hook? A hook is essentially just when you're scrolling on social media, right? And you stop and you see a video, the first couple seconds of that video, that's the hook. It's what hooks the user in, right? Why does that matter? Well, we live in an attention economy, right? Basically, if you can't hook someone in to see the first part of your video, they're going to swipe and scroll. So the hook is the way of convincing the viewer, why should they keep watching, right? The first 3 seconds of your video, whether that's long form content, short form content, whether it's creating content on OSSA.AI, you want to hook the user in. You want to say something that makes them think, I need to keep watching this, right? That could be a question. It could be a statement, right? In this case, we're just going to do like a written hook, but there's different types of hooks in content creation, right? Sometimes there's like a visual hook, right? Maybe you have your video editor put something on screen to make them think like, wait, what was that? And they'll keep watching, right? There's different ways to hook a viewer in. In this case, we're just going to do, a written hook that's part of the script. So let's do a eye-opening hook, right? And just, I'm going through the simple process, but you can always talk back and forth with this GPT and ask it for ideas, right? And then last thing here, before we get the actual example scripts, a call to action. Once again, what is a call to action? Well, in short form content, in a newsletter, in a long form piece of content, a call to action is simply just exactly what it sounds like. You're calling someone to take an action, right? I'm sure you guys have seen content where, you're looking on your TikTok feed or your Instagram feed and someone says, comment this word and I'll send you X thing. Or they say, subscribe for more, right? They're calling the viewer to take an action, right? Why is this important? Well, it's important because whether you can put a call to action in the middle of the video, you can put it at the end. Typically you see it at the end, but you have an opportunity at some point in the video, if you so choose, to ask the viewer to take an action, right? Based off of what you ask them, right? Because sometimes you need to tell someone, to follow you because they're not really thinking about it, right? You need to let them know, hey, follow me for more. If you enjoyed this, share this with a friend. If, share this comment, tag someone in the comments that needs to see this, right? So for this example, it gives us some examples. So I'm just going to say, tag a friend who needs to see this. All right. Gives us a little summary on what we have, and then it's going to go ahead and give us some scripts. Now, I always recommend looking through the scripts, adjusting them, right? Making them more unique to you. In this example, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it so I can show you guys the rest of the steps to create a video. But as you can see, it gives us some really, really good scripts, right? Gives us the hook. Think AI is all rainbows and unicorns. Think again. And then it goes into the story. And then at the end, it does the call to action. Tag a friend who needs to hear this, right? You get some different variations, right? And I think this really just speaks to where we're at in content creation, which is like, it doesn't have to be super hard. You can use tools like this to kind of help you, get your feet wet and kind of understand how these things work. And then maybe all these terms are brand new to you. Well, no problem. We have an entire school community where I go into all these things in depth. There's video resources, written resources. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. Now, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and grab the hook, right? I'm going to go back to my create page. I'm going to paste that in, which I might need to log into a different account real quick. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. One moment. Is this the right one? Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. So what did we have? We had Bruce, we had futuristic sci-fi, and then I believe we had
like Astro or something.
Yeah. Thank you. I got everyone on the edge of their seat. They're like, I want to see the video. We're getting there. So here we go. Come here, make sure that saves as a default. Cool. Now we're going to grab the body. Grab that. Boom. Perfect. And then the last thing is that call to action. We have our script, super engaging. We have a hook, right? And what's really interesting about this is no matter what this script is, whether I pick the second one, the third one, whether I type my own, whether I, got it recommended from my grandma, whether she typed it in, like we are able to turn any type of script into a video. It doesn't matter. It can be any topic, anything, whatever your mind can imagine, that's what can be created here. Now we have our script, right? As I said, which I'll probably just go ahead and do this. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and generate a video, without the advanced video settings. Cool. So we're going to go there. And then we're going to come back here. I'm going to paste it back in, and then I'm going to open this up. Now, this is the feature that we just dropped that I'm super excited to share with you guys. Now, a couple more terms here, right? Pattern interrupt. A lot of people are probably like, what the heck is a pattern interrupt, Cole? What does that mean? I've never seen this on any type of, AI platform that I've ever been on that creates videos. Well, it's a creator term. And what that means is a pattern interrupt stops a viewer from scrolling. Think about when you're scrolling, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second, but think about when you're scrolling on social media, right? When you land on a new video and it quickly zooms out in that first frame, or it shakes, or something stops that pattern, that pattern of scrolling, right? It interrupts your pattern of scrolling. That's a pattern interrupt. And I'll show you what that looks like right here. So let me just pull up a video. So that shake right there, right at the beginning of the video, it's a subconscious thing. And I don't want to get too complicated with you guys, but all I can say is like, this really helps. It's a content creation thing. But that little shake actually subconsciously stops the viewer from scrolling. It stops that pattern, because people get caught in the doom scroll, right? And that little disruption of like videos just sitting there and scrolling, and that little shake pulls their attention, and then it hooks them in. So that's like a little thing that like most people don't think about, but it's a feature that we just added. So you can see here, that's a zoom out pattern interrupt, right? So as you're scrolling, right, it zooms out. You're like, whoa, that was kind of interesting. Wait, so what's going on here? So small thing, but those things matter. Now, do you need to have one? No, you don't need to. You can actually turn it off. But for this one, we're going to put the shake one on. Actually, aggressive zoom out, right? So it's going to zoom out really fast right at the beginning of the video. For transitions, right? So this is super interesting. And once again, a really cool thing that we've added. Now, originally, how we currently had the product is that you weren't able to adjust transitions. You weren't really able to adjust kind of what was going on in the video. With the transitions, not only can you just turn them off, but what you can do is you can actually select groups of transitions, and our models will actually apply those transitions at the best time for the most engagement. To put this in perspective, we have an individual in here that got 1,000 subscribers in 26 days with the legacy version of OSSA.AI without this new feature. And I can confidently say as a content creator that this feature that we've just added will open up an opportunity for a tremendous amount of more engagement. So just putting that in perspective, I hope Kevin's excited. I'm sure he is with this new feature. But transitions, what is that, Cole? So imagine you have all your images that make up your video, right? When you go from an image is a scene, right? When you go from image to image, a transition basically just takes that and puts you to the next one, right? So it might swipe over to the next image. It might shake to the next image, right? It might, zoom in. So transitions basically take you from each section of the video to the next one. Really straightforward there, right? So what does that look like? Well, once again, I'm going to save this as a default so we don't lose it. But if I come in here, back to this video, you'll see what the transition is. So that transition there, it swipes down, right? If we play it again, let's see, the transition was wipe up, right? So that's a transition. It's a visual effect to keep a viewer engaged, right? Now, if you notice, right, if we go back over here, we have something else called animations. What's an animation? Well, an animation, if we just go back here to this video again, see how it's slowly panning to the right during the actual image? That is an animation. So it's slowly panning right? That's the pan right animation. Super straightforward, right? So you can see how you can layer these things together to create a very customizable video. But the best part is, like I said, is you don't have to edit it. Our models will apply those to the best parts of the video. If you do a single selection, you'll just have that single one throughout. But if you do a selection of two, our models will say, you know what, with all the context to what's going on here, this is the best place to put this because of what's happening in the video. So that's super exciting to me. Now, same exact thing goes. You can choose groups, right? Or you can turn them off. It's totally up to you and kind of what you want. last couple things here, and then I'm going to hit the create button. Video pacing. Cole, once again, why does pacing matter? Like, why do you guys have this feature? Shouldn't you just create the video? Well, actually, no, because with pacing, right? Why does that matter? Well, I'll give you an example. If you have, a sad video, something that's a little more, Debbie Downer type of thing, right? Do you really think that you would want a fast-paced video with a bunch of images and a bunch of transitions? No, it's going to totally disrupt the viewer's experience, right? So your ability to adjust the pacing, if I do slow, there's going to be less images, right? And less frequency of images, right? If you do fast pacing, it's going to be a lot of images, very fast pace. So fast pace would be really good for something that's more motivational, more in your face, right? Slow pace would be, really good for something that is maybe like an emotional story, something more cinematic, right? So you're able to adjust that as well. And then coming full circle, very last thing, it's very simple. You can actually, adjust the sound effects on your transitions. So if we go in here, right, and make sure this is saved, you'll notice that there's actual sounds with the transitions. It looks like they're turned off here, actually. Hold on, let's see if any of these have transitions turned on. You heard that little swipe, that little sound? So you can actually turn those off. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I don't think that is sharing audio.
Okay, let me make sure it is. 1 second.
It's there though.
Yeah. So essentially,
swoosh, swash. Here, I'll narrate it. Swoosh, swash.
Discover the secret to flawless skin with our advanced skincare serum, formulated with natural ingredients and proven to reduce signs of aging. Join thousands of.
So that little sound, the whoosh, yeah, exactly what Frank was narrating. You can turn those off if you want, because people have asked if we could. So now you can mute those. You can put them on low or normal sound. So for this one, we're just going to put it on normal. And then as you can see, now we have our fully customized video with our fully customized script, right? And now we can hit create video. Boom. And this video is almost done. And while it finishes, Frank, let me just, I know that was a lot of information. There was a lot of really solid terms dropped that I'm sure people are like, I need to learn more about that. But what are your kind of thoughts on all the customizability and kind of, the current state of the product?
Yeah, so I absolutely love this, right? So like back to what I was saying before, it's like we didn't want to make it too complicated for everyone. So you have the option. You can have like just like the more basic mode, like the hey, I just want to get it out there mode. And maybe you have a script, maybe you don't. Go through the chat GPT to create one. And then there's like the more advanced one. And I think that's like a huge unlock, because as people start using the product, you'll start seeing that like, oh, hey, I wanted this thing to do that thing, right? And so if you can customize it, then your stuff will look unique, right? Like it won't be, we're not a big believer in like templates or anything like that. We want things to kind of roughly work the way that you expect them to work, but to be able to drill down, if you're a more advanced user, to be able to control exactly what you need. And that's the whole goal, right? It's like make it super easy, abstract away all that like complicated AI stuff. Just make it really easy to use, right? We want to make this so that anyone can create content. And again, if you're on social media, as you know, you don't have to be like amazingly funny. You don't have to have like a specific skill. You don't have to know how to work a camera. You don't have to know how to edit things. You can put a script together and just have fun, right? It's like that. This content platform, it's actually, it's interesting. That's one of the only things that's come up the most in all the interviews. People are like, yeah, the page is fun. Like also, this is fun. It's like, that's what we want, right? We don't want to make it like something hard to use or something that's like too complicated. OSSA is all about fun, right? And it's like, especially if you can create things and you can see the output, like this is incredible work, right? Like you can see it, like where this is going. Any kind of ideas you have, we just saw something that was more like e-commerce based, right? We have cat videos, obviously that's a requirement. We're on the internet, right? So people talking about like different geographies, right? Like science, like any subject you can think of, which makes it like very like powerful tool, because we're not locking you into like a specific template. Like we don't believe in templates, right? We want to unlock creativity. We don't want to put you in a box, right? So all the stuff is amazing. Or really great example too. You can have the exact same script and run it again. It'll give you a completely different video, right? Because you might not want that specific thing, or be able to edit what you want. We want that diversity. It's like, hey, give me a couple of the same thing. Yeah, I actually like this one best, right? And then being able to share this with your friends is something that we're going to be adding soon, so that you can share it like quickly, right? Just get it out there. Just have fun with it, right? I think that's like, it's interesting that that's what people chose to say about the website, which is not something we were thinking about, but it is fun. It's fun making videos, right? It should be fun. It shouldn't be like a full-time job, just making videos that are just like work. Like, this is fun.
No, absolutely. And it's like, this is also the showcase real quick, right? If you guys want to find some inspiration, you want to see like what are other people creating? Like what's kind of going on here? What's possible with the platform? That's exactly why, we have this showcase, and you can click in, you can see what scripts you're using, you can see what parameters. I saw a comment just right now by Robinson was saying, I would love the ability to change individual pictures. Well, interesting. Yeah, it's good to know. Well, we may or may not be working on something that might solve that. So definitely stay tuned. Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about future stuff, but like, if you want my honest opinion, it's like we're at like a 10% maybe capacity of like what the potential of what this platform is. Like, keep in mind, we just launched like 4 months ago. Like, we're really early on. And there's so many things that we know that you guys want that'll just continue to level up the customizability, right? The ability to share the content, right? The ability to, get more engagement at the end of the day, because that's why you're here. If you're using an AI platform that doesn't give you a great opportunity to have your story be told, and multiply the value of how many people can see the video, like, why would you want to create the video? Like, that's my honest opinion. If there's any platform out there that isn't focused on how do we help these people get their stories out to more people, like, there's no point in the platform. Otherwise, it's just like a cool little tool, right? So it's like, that's really important to us. And Robinson brings up a great point that we are 100% focused on, and I can guarantee you over the next little amount of time here, we'll have a solution to that. And yeah, so I'm super happy you brought that up. And yeah, Frank, thanks so much for sharing here. And it looks like the video's done, so let's pull it up. So this one is still processing. It looks like this finished in about maybe a little less than 10 minutes. We can click in, we can view the details. Like I said, so this one's done in futuristic sci-fi, the Bruce voice, Astro space, font style, and we did the legacy settings. So if you guys remember, if we go back here, so we just went ahead and generated this without the advanced settings. So this is just based off of just these 3 simple options. We had the subtitle color, and then we used that really nice script that we made with the GPT. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's see what it looks like. And then we'll go ahead and check out this video. It's just about to finish.
Think AI is all rainbows and unicorns? Think again. Current and former OpenAI employees have a little secret. AI's rapid advancement might not be as wonderful as it seems. They're warning us about the serious risks and the complete lack of oversight. Can you believe it? Companies like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft are too busy racing to make $1 trillion to care about safety. And whistleblowers? They're practically muzzled with confidentiality agreements. But wait, there's more. These AI giants have substantial non-public information about what their tech can do and how safe it really is, yet they share almost none of it with the government or the public. So who's keeping them in check? Apparently no one. Now they've called for anonymous processes to voice concerns, support for open criticism, and no retaliation for whistleblowers. Let's see how far that gets them. Tag a friend who needs to hear this. Think AI is...
Bro, to be honest, man, every time, like, sometimes I'm so caught up in being in the business that I forget how incredible, the thing that we've built for people is. Like, I think that's I'm so proud in what we've built. Like, really put that in perspective. That whole thing was just done right in front of you guys. Like, the whole steps, you see how simple that was, right? I didn't really have to do much. And think about the possibilities now, which I'm about to show you guys as this finishes in just a moment here, with this new feature of the new styles of editing that you can apply. And then something like Robinson talking about where you can kind of adjust some things, right? You guys can kind of get an idea of where this platform is going and how much potential it really has. And it just makes me super happy every time I generate a video, because sometimes I'm just so focused on doing other stuff that I forget how insane this is and how easy it is for anyone to create content, Frank.
Yeah, I was glued the whole time, right? It's like it's a short video, but it's like, well, actually, you know what? You're right. Like, who's holding those guys accountable, right? Like, this is like thought-provoking video. Again, we just showed you step by step how it works. Anyone can do this. Anyone can create engaging content for something that you're interested in. We chose AI. It could be anything, right? So again, if you're very interested in cats and dogs, we got you. If you're interested in history, we got you. If you're interested in business topics, we got you. So like that's the weird thing about this is like it's literally for everybody. Anyone that has any kind of ideas, we want to help you unlock those ideas and create content from it.
No, it's so true. And I'm just really excited to continue to, thank you so much, Robinson. Appreciate it. Yeah, just like CapCut. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm really excited to continue to show you guys how focused we are on solving the problems of someone who wants to tell their story. Because that's what we continue to try and deliver on, is how do we keep solving problems to help people have more and more custom content while not making it overly complex. Because I think that's a very hard thing to balance, is the moment that it gets intimidating to create a video, you haven't really solved the problem, right? Because it's like, yeah, like I can do it, but it's like, oh, I have to know so much to get there. But it's like, you really don't. I was able to basically everything that you've just seen, in order to actually do this, right? Let's just put this in perspective. In order to actually create a video like this, you need to know, one, right? Let's zoom back, a year from today. You need to know, okay, what even is a script? What's a hook, right? What's a call to action? How do I tell an engaging story, right? Okay, cool. Now that I have a script, like, okay, well, how do I get like images or assets to like, and should it be like a robot here? Wait, is that going to be engaging, right? Oh, wait, how do I put, subtitles on it, right? How do I edit it? Okay, how do I put it all together? Like, you can see how many problems have been solved since, if you zoom back a year from now, how much easier it is to create a piece of content now that you have a platform like OSSA.AI. Like, it truly concises down years of knowledge into minutes at this point. And I think that's what's really incredible. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, and the end product is not cookie cutter, right? It's like this is the type of content that people want. People want to see this. And so we're just, again, our goal was always, as we're telling people on interviews, we're condensing Cole's like years of experience creating products, supporting it with technology, and then on top of that, making it easy, right? We're always going to have like a settings for this, like quick settings that are just like, you go in there, couple things, you already have a script ready to go, right? And then if you want to fine tune it and really make it your own, we're going to always have the option to, again, all these like pattern interrupts, transitions, animations. Like, honestly, I'm learning too, right? I'm not a content creator. I'm like a developer. So I don't even know what half these things were. And now it's like, as I figure it out and as I grow my influence on the TikTok, we're basically, we're creating content, and in the future, we're going to create different types of content, right? We want to keep creating tools that serve you as a person that's creative, that wants to make something using the technology that's available. And again, this is also something that we get asked a lot. Like, well, what about like this company that's doing this thing, like OpenAI with Sora? It's like, yeah, we're gonna have a Sora thing that makes it, again, engaging content, right? Because what we're interested in is the platform that lets people take complicated things, make it super easy and engaging, right? That's the end goal. If it's not engaging, it's not a good product. So, even if Sora came out tomorrow, we would be like, great, let's add it to the product. Right? Let's add all kinds of things that are needed to make the video more engaging for you guys.
Yeah, 100%. And funny enough, bro, the video is stuck in processing. I gotta be honest. It's for some reason it's not coming through. So I just messaged Jaden. Maybe it's because I'm on his account, because you can see we have an infinite amount of credits. So I just tried generating it again. So I'm just gonna wait for it to finish and then hopefully show you guys. But yeah, while that's obviously finishing up, obviously would love to take some questions, and then we'll show off this final video. If anyone has any questions, I see we have almost 50 people in here. And then the last thing I would ask is that first of all, thank you for taking the time to hop in here. And if you got value out of this, the only thing we would ever ask is if you could just share this with a friend, that wants to create content, that is, been wanting to get into content creation. Because, as I went through, there's, the OSSA.AI school community, which is completely free. Obviously there's the GPT that they could use. These are all like free things. Even trying the platform is completely free, by the way. There's a free option. So like I said, that's the only thing we would ask. Our goal is just to make influence accessible to everyone and let everyone tell their story. So if at any point, you have gotten value out of this, that's, the biggest ask, we could really have. But maybe Frank, if there's anything you want to share, if you guys have any, any other questions as we kind of, bring this to a close.
Yeah, I would say like we're checking out comments now. Anyone that has a question, a comment, we would be happy to answer it live. Whatever you guys have questions about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, do we have anything?
Yeah, because we have almost 50 people in here, so I'm gonna take a look at the comments as well. Robinson says your software saves a ton of time. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a super important point. Is, aside from, I think there has to be a balance, right? I think there has to be a balance between saving time but also creating engaging content, right? Because what's really interesting, this is always kind of, and I see the questions coming in, so we'll go ahead and get on those in a second. But I think what's really interesting that a lot of people are missing is that no one wants people want easier, but they don't want not good, right? Like people want an automated, process, and they want to create content, but they don't want bad content. And it's so important. And that's so important to me, is that we will never, ever deliver a feature that does not either give you more control over the video, make content more diverse from other users, or give more engagement, right? Or save you more time. Because there's so many tools that are just automating, right? And it's like, click this button and generate your script, and then click the button, and it's like 2 buttons, but it's like, there's no ownership over that. You didn't really do that. The platform did, right? With our platform, the difference is you are the one creating, right? And I think that's so important, is like, we're always going to be focused on how do we save more time, but we're never going to release a feature that is just like kind of gimmicky, right? And is not focused on those things. And I think that's like a trend we've seen of like, paste this link and like get a UGC, or like, paste this, push this button and get an automated video straight to your feed. But it's like content creation is not that simple. I'm sorry, right? It's like, it's not. And yeah, there's probably some things that I shared with you guys that you're like, shit, I don't know what that means. But it's like, good. Like, in order to actually create something that's yours, we have to know that. And my goal is like, I want to attract the type of person that's like, wow, like, I actually have control over this. Yeah, I know what a hook is. Like, I'm learning content, right? Like that's what I want for someone. I don't want someone to come to the platform and be like, it's like all done for me and it's not really mine.
Yeah.
So,
and here's a good example, right? So we have Scott Thims. So he wants to become an affiliate, get all your insurance buddies to use this, creating his own content, growing a following. So something as complicated and kind of like, let's be honest, a little bit like vanilla as insurance, guess what? You are the person that knows what people need, right? So let's talk about insurance. Like, everyone needs it. Nobody really wants it, right? It's kind of like, but instead of focusing on that sort of thing, it's like, hey, here's why insurance is important, right? Like, let's say there's a natural disaster, right? Let's say something happens to your property, right? Going into kind of like the story of like questions that people ask you all the time, something as kind of like vanilla as insurance could still be engaging, right? It could still be educational. You can have the tone of like, again, not super fast paced, a little bit slower pace, a little bit talking about stories, a little bit, like getting people engaged in that. You'd be surprised, man. It's like you can create engaging educational content on something like insurance even. So that's why this tool is so great, because it's not just for creating like super engaging fast content, right? It could also be more serious. So I think that's like the most important part. Oh, so Scott says we focus on Medicare and life insurance, but yes, for sure. Yeah, sure. You want to get into life insurance, right? You can go into some very deeply emotional things of what could happen if you don't have life insurance, right?
Tell
Let's be
some
honest.
awesome stories. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's something I want to actually touch on. We covered this in last week's weekly live stream, Scott. Especially if, if anyone else who might be wanting to really leverage, AI or just content in general. I think that what's really important is that a lot of people use short form content just to say, here's my product, buy my thing. But it's like storytelling and giving people value in terms of entertainment and top of funnel stuff, super important, right? So it's like, if I have, if you focus on Medicare and life insurance, it's like you have your hook of, did you know that XYZ thing could happen if you don't have, life insurance? And it's like, and then boom, you could go into a story of like, well, if you didn't listen to this, XYZ person had this story, like this happened, right? And then it's like, if you don't want to be like this person, then make sure to, whatever, check the link in my bio. And it's like, you're giving them entertainment and value, right? And it's like, there's so many cool ways to approach using a tool like OSSA, or just in general, creating content for a business. And what I've noticed, like the trend of content now is like storytelling and entertainment, because really short, a lot, like, the question I always ask is like, when's the last time I scrolled on TikTok or Instagram looking for a product to buy? I mean, not too often. A lot of it is like people want to be entertained and given some value, right? So if you can tie in that storytelling with some sort of value and teach them something through the story, super, super good. So that's super awesome. And then, yeah, I mean, Scott, we could definitely connect. Let's see, would be nice to add a hook as a sign page. Can we add our logo as a watermark? Yeah, it's a good question. I actually took note of that. That's probably something that we could definitely consider. So yeah, I mean, we could definitely have a conversation about that. Really appreciate you bringing that up, Robinson. Can we add background music? Wow, that's a great question. I have a pretty strong opinion on this for a long time. So what's really interesting is, and I cover this in the school community, and we'll bring this to a close in just a moment here, and I'll show you guys that video because it finished. So apologies for the wait, but there's a couple things that you want to check off when adding music to a video. I kind of created this framework myself, and it's in the school community, so check it out. The first thing is that you want it to match the emotions you're trying to evoke in the viewer, right? So if you have a motivational video, you don't want like a Sam Smith song playing in the background that's like real sad, right? Because it's gonna be like, wait, I'm supposed to be motivated. Why are you showing me this like slow song? So one, you want the music to match the emotions. Two, you want it to match the pacing, right? Motivational example again. If you have a fast-paced motivational video, right? What are you doing? Get up out of bed, right? Once again, you don't want like a Sam Smith slow song, or it's like, why are you motivating me? But I have this slow music behind it, right? So that's number two. And number three, you want it to be universally known or relatable, right? So that is kind of the tough part that we're teetering on with AI music, is that, and this is the big problem that a lot of companies have, is they kind of just put boring stock music behind videos, but it actually hurts the engagement of their content. So it's like, if you're at one of these companies and you're hearing that, like, it's a good piece of advice. I wouldn't put stock music behind your videos because it hurts the users. So like I said, we're very meticulous about why we do things here, and that's just like one micro example. Now, at a point where the AI music is there, where it can kind of match those kind of parameters, which it's a lot more complicated than that. Let me say there's other things, but then we would consider that. But I would say, quite honestly, your best interest is probably downloading it and going to the platform, going through that course that I dropped, and going through that music, how to add viral sounds resource, and then kind of working off of that, right? Because if it hurts your engagement, we can't add it. We just can't. So once we kind of figure out that formula.
Another really important thing, right? It's like every platform has like different rules for music, right? So if you drop like the hottest like Hendrix song, guess what? You might not be able to show that or monetize it on YouTube, right? So it's like we know about music, believe us, but we want to make it so that when you have a video, it's ready to go, and whatever platform you choose to post it on, you can kind of go within the parameters that each platform has.
Yep. And Robinson made a good point. Yeah, TikTok does like you to use their music. So if you guys don't know, I have around, I think, 5.5 or 6 million followers on TikTok. And what I've noticed recently is that they actually tend to not like when you add music outside of the application and then post it onto their platform, if that music is copyrighted music. So like if you take, I'll just take the example again, like a Sam Smith song, and you put it, you add it in a tool like CapCut, and then you upload it to their platform, they might mute your video because they have algorithms that recognize that, and then they're going to mute it. So it's like there's a lot of things, a lot of hurdles to get over there. I have a pretty clear vision of what that will become when we get there, but I just don't think we're there yet. But I think we will eventually get there where people are really going to like it. I have a vision of what that would look like. But we're just not there yet. Yeah.
And now what we've all been waiting for.
Okay, here we go. So same exact script, right? As you guys know, just to bring us back full circle, this one was the legacy mode. For context, legacy mode just adds normal pacing, basically the normal settings that you guys are used to, like this.
Think AI.
Just zoom in, zoom out, right? And then here is the same exact script, right? With, as you can see, futuristic sci-fi, Bruce, astrospace. Let's check it out.
Think AI is all rainbows and unicorns? Think again. Current and former OpenAI employees have a little secret. AI's rapid advancement might not be as wonderful as it seems. They're warning us about the serious risks and the complete lack of oversight. Can you believe it? Companies like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft are too busy racing to make $1 trillion to care about safety. And whistleblowers? They're practically muzzled with confidentiality agreements. But wait, there's more. These AI giants have substantial non-public information about what their tech can do and how safe it really is. Yet, they share almost none of it with the government or the public. So, who's keeping them in check? Apparently, no one. Now they've called for anonymous processes to voice concerns, support for open criticism, and no retaliation for whistleblowers. Let's see how far that gets them. Tag a friend who needs to hear this. Think AI.
I mean, they're both really good, to be fair. I don't know.
Really good.
It depends.
Yeah, they're both really good. It's so interesting. Like, as you were saying, like, I challenge anybody to go up against our platform and create something as engaging. Like, realistically, like, if you are like a really amazing editor, you know how to use all the scripts, everything, After Effects, right? Maybe you can get to this point. But I'm telling you guys, like, having a platform that does this for you is crazy.
Let me put this in perspective, at like, genuinely, right? And I'm biased because I'm the CEO, but what I just showed you, you would have to pay an editor $10 to $20 to do, like, minimum
per video. Yeah,
like,
and you give them like at least 3 or 4 days minimum.
There's another one.
Think AI is all rainbows and unicorns? Think again. Current and former OpenAI employees have a little secret. AI's rapid advancement might not be as wonderful as it seems. They're warning us about the serious risks and the complete lack of...
All right, if you guys want to see more, you just got to go create. You got to go create.
That's it. That's all I can tell you. We challenge you to find something better out there.
I mean, if you want to go learn how to write a script, and you want to get in front of a camera, and then you want to go spend weeks finding the right editor, and then you want to pay him $10 to $20 a video, plus wait all the time to generate the video, like, be my guest. But that's literally why we built this, because I've been there, done that. I've had all of those pain points, and it's like, they say the best product that you build is a product that you build for yourself, right? And it's like, that's really what's happening here. Is like, we're not just guessing, like, this is genuinely the same pain points that I've gone through. This is exactly the pain that I've struggled through as a creator. So I'm solving problems for myself and for a creator. So it's like, exactly. I think that's what's really important. Is like, we're not guessing. Like, we know what we know what you guys want, and then when we talk to you guys, we make sure that we confirm that that's true, and that's happening every single day.
Yeah, and so we're getting a lot of questions about, like, people are catching us towards the tail end, right? We know everyone's busy. for sure, we're going to have a replay available. Dan Savka was asking, for sure, we'll have a replay available. And this is all the value. Like we're constantly going to be doing this. We're going to be showing you updates, value. We're going to show everyone. We won't stop until everyone has a chance to tell their story using OSSA.AI, like actually.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Just to recap, you know, in the beginning, we talked a little bit about the background of OSSA, kind of where we're at. And then Frank dropped some gems on, you know, kind of where we're at inside of this, this journey of finding our next, you know, full stack developer to join and help build this vision. Then I talked a little bit about the video editor role we're bringing in, as well as the social media manager role. So that's towards the beginning. We kind of pivoted. I shared that I have an entire free school community with hours of very valuable resources from, you know, my expertise of 7 million plus followers. That's completely free for you guys to use, you know. And then we dove into how to actually create a video. I talked about this GPT, which is also free to use, right? If you guys actually, you know, want to go and try out the platform, just go to our website and then you can come down here and you can activate your plan, or you can click into the showcase, check them out, start creating for free, sign up, and then just get going. So we do have a plan where you can have the first 30 days free. So we want you guys to try it out. Like he says, like Frank said, we challenge you to try and find, you know, an editor, or you could just, you know, use our platform. So thank you so much for everyone who stopped in.
Yeah, just quick shout out to Chris. We see you for sure. Put a song lyric in there, make some awesome videos. Dimas, we literally just went over all that. How we're different from other platforms, features dropping soon. Please check the replay. Happy to see you. And also Osmain, talking about French. Guess what? We speak French, like the platform does, right? Not me personally, but yeah, it has voices in French. You can put in French text, so we're multilingual here. And I think that's about it.
Yeah. Last thing I'd want to say is, you know, we're going to be doing these every single week at 12 p.m. PST. So if you guys got any value out of this, like I said, the one thing I could ask you, just share this with a friend if you found this, you know, entertaining, or if there's any nuggets dropped. You know, the best thing that I would ask is if you could just share it with someone. As you can see, I'm really big on just giving out free resources and helping people create content. And I hope that, you know, this live stream has showcased that. So that is really our goal at the end of the day. Even if you don't use the platform, I really encourage you to consume some of these free resources and really get your feet wet, because content creation, this is where the world's heading. Like, this is where it's heading. You know, attention is the most valuable resource in the world, and knowing how to get that attention is super valuable. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and thank you so much, Frank, for hopping on. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week at noon on Wednesday.
All right, thanks everyone.